What if the wealthiest person you know doesn't look wealthy at all? We're often shown that wealth looks like fast cars, designer clothes, and exotic vacations. But what if the deepest, most resilient form of wealth is quiet, unassuming, and almost invisible? What if it looks less like a flashy city penthouse and more like a peaceful farm at sunrise? Today, we're going to explore this idea through a story that might just change how you think about money, success, and life itself. This is the story of Arthur, a man you probably wouldn't notice if you passed him on the street. He lived in a small, quiet town, the kind where everyone knows everyone. Arthur was a farmer. His days started before the sun and ended long after it set. His hands were calloused from years of hard work, and his clothes were practical, not fashionable. He drove an old, reliable pickup truck that he knew how to fix himself, and his home was a modest, well-kept farmhouse that had been in his family for generations. To an outsider, Arthur looked like just another small-town farmer, perhaps struggling to get by. His neighbors saw him as a kind, hard-working man who enjoyed the simple things in life. They'd see him tending to his crops, mending a fence, or sharing a laugh with a friend at the local diner. He never talked about money, never showed off, and never seemed to want for anything more than he had. He was content. For decades, Arthur lived this simple life. He earned a modest income from his farm, but what he did with that income was extraordinary. While others might have used a good harvest to buy a new car or take a lavish trip, Arthur had a different philosophy. Every month, without fail, he took a portion of his earnings and put it away. He was a diligent saver and a patient investor. He studied the market, not to get rich quick, but to understand how to make his money grow steadily and safely over time. He avoided debt like the plague. If he couldn't afford something in cash, he simply didn't buy it. He didn't see the point in paying interest to a bank for something that would lose its value. His purchases were based on need and utility, not on a desire to impress anyone. His old truck ran just fine, so why get a new one? His home was warm and comfortable, so why move to a bigger, fancier house? This discipline, this quiet consistency, was his secret. Decade after decade, his small, regular investments began to compound. The small streams of money he diverted grew into a river, and that river grew into a vast, silent lake of wealth that no one could see. When Arthur eventually passed away, his town was in for a shock. The quiet, unassuming farmer, the man who lived so simply, turned out to be a multi-millionaire. His will revealed that he had left a substantial portion of his fortune to fund scholarships for the local school, to help rebuild the community center, and to support the local hospital. The man who never looked rich had enriched his entire community in a way no one could have imagined. Arthur's story holds a profound lesson for all of us. True wealth isn't about what you show, it's about what you build. Our culture constantly bombards us with images of consumerism. We're told that happiness is just one purchase away. But this type of gratification is fleeting. The new car gets old, the designer clothes go out of style, and the thrill of the purchase fades. It's a treadmill that keeps you running but never lets you get ahead. In contrast, Arthur's approach was like planting an oak tree. He wasn't looking for a plant that would sprout overnight and then wither. He was planting something that would grow slowly, steadily, and strong. Its roots would run deep, making it resilient to storms and droughts. Over years and decades, it would become a mighty, towering presence, providing shade and shelter for generations. That's the power of disciplined, long-term investing. It's not exciting or flashy. It's the slow, steady, relentless power of compounding. It's a quiet force that works for you day and night, even while you sleep. Imagine a graph. Instead of jagged peaks and valleys from risky bets, Arthur's wealth was a smooth, steady upward curve, getting steeper and steeper over time. That is the visual representation of financial peace. Arthur's life also offers a deeper philosophical wisdom. His story is a testament to the power of humility, patience, and the profound peace that comes from living within your means. In a world that screams for more, he found contentment in having enough. He wasn't driven by ego or the need for external validation. His self-worth wasn't tied to the brand of his clothes or the size of his house. It came from his work, his relationships, and his inner sense of purpose. This is a freedom that many people with far greater incomes never experience. They are trapped in what's often called the golden handcuffs, a high-paying job that they need to maintain a high-consumption lifestyle. They are constantly stressed, worried about keeping up with the Joneses, and living paycheck to paycheck, just on a grander scale. Arthur, on the other hand, was truly free. He was the master of his money, not its slave. He found joy not in acquiring more things, but in the quiet moments of life. Watching a sunset paint the sky over his fields, reading a good book by the fire, or sharing a simple, home-cooked meal with the people he loved. This is a different kind of richness, a richness of time, of peace, of mind, and of spirit. So, how can we apply the lessons from Arthur's incredible life to our own? It's more practical than you might think. Here are a few key principles. First, and most importantly, live below your means. This is the foundation of everything. It doesn't matter how much you earn if you spend it all. Create a budget, track your spending, and make a conscious choice to spend less than you bring in. This gap between your income and your expenses is your power. It's the money you can use to build your future. Second, invest consistently. Don't try to time the market or chase hot stocks. Choose a simple, diversified investment strategy and contribute to it regularly, whether the market is up or down. This is called dollar cost averaging, and it's how you harness the power of compounding over the long term. Remember the oak tree, it's a long game. Third, focus on value, not appearances. Before you buy something, ask yourself, do I truly need this? Will it add real, lasting value to my life? Or am I just trying to impress someone? Buy things for their utility, durability, and the genuine joy they bring you, not for the status they might signal to others. Fourth, educate yourself. You don't need to become a financial wizard, but you should understand the basics of personal finance, budgeting, and investing. Read books, listen to podcasts, and take control of your financial education. Knowledge is what turns you from a passive consumer into a conscious architect of your financial life. And finally, and perhaps most profoundly, define your own success. Don't let society's narrow definition of wealth dictate your goals and your happiness. What does a rich life look like to you? Maybe it's having the freedom to travel, to spend more time with your family, to pursue a creative passion, or to give back to your community. Your definition is the only one that matters. Align your financial goals with your life goals, and you will find a motivation that no flashy object can ever provide. Arthur's story teaches us that the path to true wealth is not a sprint. It's a quiet, patient marathon. It's about building a strong foundation, brick by brick, day by day. It's about understanding that the most valuable things in life aren't things at all. As we close, let's reflect on this powerful idea. Wealth is not about having the most, but about needing the least. When you free yourself from the endless cycle of wanting more, you discover a deeper, more enduring form of prosperity. So, don't just focus on building your bank account. Focus on building your life, a life of purpose, peace, and quiet, unshakable strength. That is the true legacy of the invisible millionaire. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content that explores wealth, wisdom, and the art of living a meaningful life. We'll see you in the next one.